its real selves. And I thought something that would be fun to do is to redraw some old drawing. So I've seen this trend a lot over the years where people will take old art and redraw it and see how far they've come as an artist. And I think that's so cool. So I'm gonna do that today. I have the perfect piece to redraw because I've already redrawn it. This piece I drew 6 years ago now. Damn. Of course, of Malik from Hive Swap. And looking at this piece, you can definitely see this is a beginner. This is me when I was still in high school, and I frankly kind of sucked. This was just right on notebook paper and a blue pen. And I was like, hey, what's a blue character that I know? Oh yeah. And so I doodled him. And I was actually really proud of this one at the time. I was like, damn, that's so cool that I did that. But looking back, you could definitely see proportions, whack, no hands, no torso.
And probably no butthole since this guy feeds on radiation.
Limbs going crazy. It's just an interesting drawing. But that was 6 years ago now. 6 years ago I drew this. That's crazy. I'm just in awe of how far I've come. Just looking at this. Even cuz I already drew the piece. Teehee. Anyway. And so 3 years later, in 2023, I drew this. The jump is almost too big for 3 years later. But there it is. And you can see I got my first tablet, which I still have. It's been doing great. And so this was one of the first digital drawings that I did. And I was so proud of it. Even more so. And I'm still proud of it. I'm still really proud of it. Because comparing the two, that's such, like, just anatomy-wise. Proportions, so much better. Infinitely better. Instantly, infinitely better. You know? And I got to experiment with coloring. And you can see, this is when I started doing that, like, cell shading. Because in the first picture, I didn't really know what I was going for. So I'm kind of hatching, but it ended up just being scribbles. Something's going on there, you know? And I still don't know how to draw hands. And I still don't have a background, and I'm still struggling in that regard. But I think it's the face mostly. I'm like, that's a good expression. That's a good expression. The noses, too. The noses is something that I really notice looking back in my old art, where I went from doing these, like, button noses to, like, some Invader Zim inspired nose. I really struggled with nose types. Out of all the things, noses I struggled with, because I always just kind of went back to, like, okay, this is my default nose shape, whether it was in 2020 with just a little circle, or in 2023 with, like, this Invader Zim fuckery that's going on there. But I never really nailed it. Also, the ears. You could see these kind of, like, pointy animal ears, I struggle a lot too. And you could see it's gotten, like, sharper and smaller, and I just think that's cool. It's just neat. It's neat to notice. The line art is abysmal. It's really bad, because I still struggle with that. And that's something that I really want to focus on more, is figuring out line art. Because what I did for this, I'm pretty sure, was I just did a sketch, like a really messy sketch, and then I went over it and, like, until it was really thick, and then just, like, erased around the sketch and kind of carved out the line art from the sketch instead of like going over and doing clean lines. And it's definitely a look. It's definitely a look. But it's just, it does look messy. And that's something that I have gotten better at. I have. Also, the lighting, I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, okay, these are shapes. Look at that arm. What's going on there? What's happening there? It's just a blob. I think I have yet to meet the lasso tool, because the lasso tool has become my best friend and my soulmate, and I love the lasso tool with all my heart. And I can see that I did not use it to make these shapes. They're very blobby, very sketchy, and that's okay. I think it's okay. But it's definitely something that I have changed. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the redraw. Okay, so first things first, we see, very drastic from the first two, I'm drawing a background. Very scary, I know. And I'm still not good at it, so I'm not ashamed to admit that this is just me copying straight from one of the backgrounds from the game Friend Sim and just copying it. I just zoomed into one of the backgrounds and I traced the outline of the wall to get the shapes right, and then I just colored it. I'm not ashamed to admit that because backgrounds are hard. Sometimes I even just have a screenshot of the background because I'm still a beginner on backgrounds and I suck at backgrounds. So I'm gonna do what I can to get them done. But I am actually trying something new there. I don't know if you saw, but I took some PNGs of concrete textures and put them on top of everything. It's very subtle, but I really like it. It gives it the texture of being like in the sewers and everything's made of concrete. I was struggling with the pose because I still wanted to be the same pose as before, just maybe at a cooler angle instead of just front facing. I wanted it to be like top down view, like we're standing and we're looking down at him. Brain defaults to they, them. And already, like, the fact that I can bop out, like, a face that quickly. The fucking shoes. The shoes, I must admit, I suck at drawing shoes. I really do. I really suck at drawing shoes. And I think I did better in the 2023 version, but they're less canon. They're like generic shoe, you know, generic sneaker. And that's not what he wears. He wears like, I don't know, shoes. I'm not a shoe guy, but but you could see I start doing the like carving out, but then I'm gonna go over again with a third line art. That's the thing. You gotta do like multiple sketches. A trick you could do that only works in digital is you draw the thing and then you just put it on him. Hands! I'm drawing hands. I'm not scared of hands anymore. Yep, I'm still scared of shoes, but I'm not scared of hands. And I think that's growth. Okay, but see, now I learned instead of just leaving that, I'm going over it a third time. So you got the sketch, the rough draft, and then the final line art. And I think that's awesome. And I'm really proud of how this turned out. But already I can pick out like, ooh, I would have done something a little different here. I would have done something a little different there. Like, I'm already being like, oh, I can improve on those shoes. I could do that better. I could do the pose better. Those legs gave me a really hard time. I could do that better. There's a lot that already I'm like, what can I do to fix this? What can I do to grow and be even better? And here, I'm actually color picking from his sprite, which I did not do the first time that I colored him, which I think led to the colors being kind of off. I just realized something. Did I accidentally use the wrong sprite? No, I didn't. That's the correct color. Because I remember, I'm like, okay, is that, because I remember people thought there was like, he was accidentally colored like an indigo instead of a cerulean. But that's the cerulean color, right? No, I'm scared. Did I fuck up? Did I fuck up? Oh no. No, I think it's fine. The blood colors are a lot like darker than I think they are. Cause in the other one I colored him like, oh, that's a bright blue. Like that's blue. But here it's like, oh, that's blue. Yeah, it's blue, but it's like a dark blue. So it's hard to like tell. Okay, so shading. Shading, I fucking love shading. Shading is so fun. I did so much. I do, instead of the first one, a fucking rim light and highlights everywhere, and like, it's so fun. I love it. And then a big gradient to like make everything green so that it matches. And that's it. And it is, I'm so proud of this one. I'm so proud of this one because comparing this to the 2020 picture, insane. That was 6 years ago. 6 years ago. And that's the, like, it's drastic. It's crazy. It's crazy. And like I said, there's things already that I'm like, okay, in 3 years, it's gonna be even better. I'm gonna be even better in 3 more years. Cause like already I can pick out like the shoes, obviously, the biggest thing. Oh yeah, and the nose. The nose. Remember how at the beginning I was like, I don't know how to draw noses. I always just like I've always just kind of like either done like a circle or the stupid Invader Zim nose. But here, I have a nose. That's a nose. That's a nose, all right. That's a nose. Not a weird button nose, not like some lines. That's a nose. And I've gotten so good at different noses. I have to brag. I'm pretty good at drawing noses. And the ears have gotten even smaller. My vibe is different. My vibe is different. I don't know. But I am so proud of this. I'm so proud of this. And I can't wait to see what my art looks like in 3 more years. Because I'm always growing. I'm always like changing, and I'm always experimenting with new ways to do things. And I'm so excited to grow even more. Okay. Wow. I am so proud of how this turned out. And so proud of how much I've grown in the past 6 years. Because that is truly like insane to me. This is something I've seen a lot of artists do over the years, and I think that it is one of the best ways to see how much you've grown and how much your younger self would be looking up and being like amazed at how far you've come. My teenage self would have flipped their flippin' lid if they knew I was drawing like this. Even if I'm looking at it now and I'm being critical and I'm being like, oh, I would have done this different, I would have done this different. My younger self would have been frothing at the mouth knowing that they were capable of this. And I think that's just so special. And I just think this would be a great thing to start my channel off with. Because maybe 3 years from now, I can redraw this again and show how far I've come. And it'll be a good time capsule of where I started this channel. I hope you all do this too. Find a piece that you did years ago and redraw it and show yourself just how much you have grown, even if it seems like you haven't. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.